Hi, I'm Mars from StrataGames, and today we're playing some Golgari Food Pestilence. I played an Abzan Food Pestilence deck about a month or two ago, and really enjoyed it, but the Golgari, or almost mono-black version, has been by far the most prevalent version that's been coming around since Nutrient Block was printed, giving us another nice food to sacrifice to our Cauldron Familiar, which can, of course, keep the Pestilence around, because if you have enough food to keep the Familiar on the field, then it's never going to die. So we have the Nutrient Blocks, Lembuses, and one of Heaped Harvest that we're playing here. We also have some Ichor Wellsprings, Nile Spellbombs, and Campfires for some more artifact utility. Eviscerator's Insight, Fanatical Offering to draw a whole bunch of cards, and then for our removal package, obviously we have Pestilence to wipe the whole board, but we also have some cast downs, a couple Go for the Throats, and I was going to try just the kind of stock list that's been running around a little bit here, but we just had a new card printed, Daily Indoctrination, that some people have been speculating could be really interesting. So it's 2 mana for a lesson. Choose one. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land permanent card from it. That player discards that card. It's a really bad duress because it can't hit instants and sorceries, which is generally what you want with hand attack, and it's 2 mana for that effect. However, you can also Earthbend 2, which is putting 2 counters on a land and making it a creature. I made a YouTube short about this card, and Lutri Enjoyer on YouTube suggested that doing the old Indestructible land trick with Earthbend could be an interesting way to have a creature that does not die to your own Pestilence. So we're not going overboard, we're just playing 4 Darkmoss Bridge here, replacing some of our other various lands, but we're going to try this out. Obviously, lots of opponents have ways to exile artifacts, especially in the sideboard, but in game 1, or maybe if they just can't draw those cards, this could be a really interesting way to be able to Pestilence your entire board, even if your opponent has the answers to Cauldron Familiar, which often they can if they have enough graveyard hate or just instant speed removal. Making an Indestructible Earthbend creature can just keep your Pestilence around, kind of like having a Guardian of the Guild Pact on the field. So we're going to be trying that out because that seems sweet. Otherwise, for our land base, we have a Bajuka Bog, a couple Golgari Rot Farms, Conley Garden, and just a bunch of swamps. Sideboard, we have Snuff Out, Fairy Macabre, Drown in Sorrow, Weather the Storms, and Troublemaker Oof. So we're going to take this for a league and see how we do. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a league video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. All right, we're on the draw here, but we have turn 2 Wellspring and then Insight. We have the Pestilence to start off, and we have the Indoctrination if we can find a bridge, so we're definitely going to keep this one. And opponents on Spy. So Land Grant, they have the Spy in hand. I think Pestilence should be decent against them because we can wipe the board, but obviously it's going to be a little slow, so we're going to have to make sure we survive for the first couple turns. Cast Down is a nice way to help make that happen. We'll play a Swamp and pass to them. They have a Swamp and a Battlement. Let's see, so they have 2 Spies, Query Ranger, and a Generous Ant in hand. I think we're just casting this down. Indoctrination is actually kind of interesting in this match because it can take Spies. Of course, they have 2 of those. I don't think that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, we're just going to cast this down. Especially with the Query Ranger, it can make a lot of mana. I may very well cast this for the hand attack mode next turn, though. Wall of Roots, Query Ranger, so 1 unknown in hand. Yeah, so if they just have another way to pull out a land and then they spy us, we're probably just dead. I could play a Wellspring, but that doesn't really do much. And then we can get Pestilence next turn, but that's all really slow. I think we're going to go for this. If we can pull out like another Generous Ant, I guess in response they could use this, so that wouldn't actually matter. Well, if it's like a Saga Wildling, maybe, I don't know. I think we're just going to cast this. If they can't kill us this next turn, we can use the second one next turn to take the other Spy, which could be pretty good. In general, Indoctrination's kind of weird for hand attack. Vandal, I don't care about that, so we're going to take Spy. Obviously, Vandal can be relevant against Pestilence, but it's just not the thing that's about to kill us. So yeah, Indoctrination, it takes creatures, enchantments, and artifacts. Obviously, creatures, you already have creature removal, so it's a little awkward there, but against Spy is more or less a spell, right? It's a creature, but it's really a spell that they keep in hand to win the game with. So if they do just keep in hand, Indoctrination can be good for it. So they might just run it out here hoping to hit enough, because if we cast another Indoctrination, we can maybe take away their ability to kill us, or maybe they'll save it, but I certainly will cast another Indoctrination on their Spy. They're going to attack for 1 first here, sure, just in case. Untap, and they are going to cast it, targeting themselves. 4 cards down was the forest. Very nice for us. So they hit a Dread Return, but, well, Dread Return for a Spy, actually, they need 1 more creature and they have a Vandal in hand, and then they could do it and then Dread Return for the Giant. That'd be pretty good. I'd love to draw a Nile Spellbomb right here. All right, we get a Swamp. Okay, yeah, this is pretty awkward. So they have a Vandal in hand. Dread Return they hit. So they whiffed, but they hit a Dread Return. So if they sack 3 creatures, they can unearth a Spy, then with a Vandal. So I basically have to Indoctrination to take their Vandal and hope they don't draw a creature. We're going to start with a Wellspring, because if I just draw a Spellbomb, obviously that solves our problem. But if we don't, then we're in the same spot. So let's go for Indoctrination, take the Vandal, and hope they don't hit a creature here. Because if they don't, I can also then Pestilence for 1 to wipe the Quirion Ranger, and then the following turn I can Pestilence to wipe the whole board, and that should just win us the game. Assuming, obviously, that we don't just lose here. They put a -1/-1 counter, or -0 counter, on the Wall of Roots, and didn't use the mana. I'm not really sure why. Maybe they just want to get it closer to dying. But they're also casting something, so I'm not sure why they did that and then attacked. Untap. They have 5 mana now, because the Caretaker... Okay, they go for the Dread Return. They turn over their whole graveyard. They miscounted their mana, but now they can, tap this, make a 6th mana, play like a Generosent, and then they concede. What happened here? Their draw was Lotless Giant, and they made that mistake with the Wall of Roots. So I don't know. They activated the Wall of Roots before combat, and then immediately went to combat and attacked, wasted that mana. And then they made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from untapping the Quirion Ranger. And then they drew the Lotless Giant, but they already had a Lotless Giant in graveyard. So they just needed the 1 extra mana. Yeah, okay. They botched it pretty good there. The Daily Indoctrinations actually worked really well. Now, they were, assuming they didn't make a mistake, they still would have won. But they actually were going to do some pretty good work there, which is pretty sweet. We get Fairy, Macabre, and Snuff Out to kill their creatures and exile the graveyard. I think that's all we need from here. We're keeping our removal and the Indoctrination. Campfires, we're not going to ever gain enough life with those. I'm honestly not even sure Cauldron Familiars are that important, because if we get a Pestilence down, wipe their whole board, we're probably in a good spot anyway, but I guess we probably don't need to cut all of them. Heaped Harvest, I guess the ramp could be pretty good, actually. Maybe just a couple of Eviscerator's Insight, because the game's not likely to go super long here. Maybe keep one of those, get rid of, Olympus. I don't know. This is not a match where we get to really do our normal Pestilence kind of a thing. That's more for mid-range or control matchups or something. 1 land, otherwise pretty decent, but we're not going to keep that. Here we have a lot of land with the Rot Farms. We have a Macabre. Yeah, we'll keep this one. I think just get rid of 1 nutrient block. Hope to not draw any more land, probably. Then mulligan to 5. There's a Ranger, Olympus. Obviously, Fairy Macabre can be very good this match, but if they get a Fiend off first, we're going to need to draw something else. They land grant, they have Petal, another land grant, and a Generosent. Okay. Does not seem like the best hand ever, but that's what they got to keep on a mulligan to 5. Ooh, Swamp lets us play Olympus here and start picking up an untapped land, which is good. So yeah, let's do that. Looking for removal, or obviously more graveyard hate. I think we already have a lot of card draw, and if I keep that, there's just the chance that we keep drawing card draw, and that doesn't seem very good. They cycle a Generosent, but they fail to find, so they have the Vandal, Winding Way. I guess just because the land grant can get the land. They Winding Way, they hit the Swamp, so that's in the graveyard. They also hit a Giant. Cast a Lotus Petal. This is a weird one. So they have land grant for their 4th forest, and then they could Fiend if they want. But because they hit their Swamp, they're only going to have this 1 black mana unless they can find a Caretaker or something. Colony Garden. Okay, that's actually probably better to... Even better to pick up with the Rot Farm. I can just hold up Insight here, so that if they do somehow Fiend and Spy, I can maybe draw another Macabre or something. I guess we might as well block a damage here. Oh, we did hit the second Macabre. Also Snuff Out. Pretty good. Untap, replay the Forest. Daily Indoctrination. Okay, I could use that to take the Fiend. Then I just have double Macabre. It's going to be really hard for them to get through. Or I could just make an Indestructible guy. I don't really need to do that yet. Probably don't need to do either of those yet, to be honest. Yeah, let's just play a nutrient block, Rot Farm back our Swamp, and pass for now. They cast the Fiend. Do I want to snuff out this Quirion Ranger in response? Probably. Oh, we picked up our only Swamp. Actually, I can't. Well, maybe that was silly. Maybe I should have just snuffed out before. I mean, if they leave us with 2 Fairy Macabres, obviously leaving us with 1 is just as good, then it's kind of a tough spot for them anyway, but they do take 1. They need to find black mana in some way. They'll bounce that, untap. We'll sack this to go back up to 20. There's a Familiar. Play that. Play a block. Maybe I should just play a Swamp so I have a Snuff Out if I really need it. I think that's probably safest. I kind of think Snuff Out is being saved for a Caretaker. I'm trying to think what ways they have to make black mana other than the Swamp and Cerulean Caretaker. and Lotus Petal. So they have to find more Lotus Petals or Caretakers, and I can snuff out the Caretaker. I'll obviously block here. Speaking of blocks, let's sack this Nutrient block. Colony Garden. Let's just start playing... Make sure we hit our black lands. I don't want to... if I get a Pestilence, I want to make sure I have enough black mana to kill everything. They use the Quirion Ranger here. Lead the Stampede, I assume. There it is. There's a Caretaker. Ent and a Wildling. I should have attacked for one, I realized, because they still couldn't block... Or they couldn't attack here, and if they did, I would be able to bring this back and then eat their guy. But that's okay. We gotta go for the throat. Probably time to kill this Quirion Ranger then. We discard the land grant. We are drawing a lot of lands here. Swing for one. Snuff out the Quirion Ranger. It's also giving them more mana, although they should still have a forest in their deck they can get with a Generous Ent. Or a Wildling. Let's play a Swamp. Do I want to Indoctrination? Because that could kill a Caretaker. Yeah, I don't really think I need to draw the 2. Or make a 2/2 rather. Alright, here they have another Fiend. They have a Dread Return. That's super dead. Yeah, like, I just don't know what how they're making black mana if I just take this Caretaker. Lotus Petal off the top, but I have a go for the throat for a Fiend or whatever. Like, I think that's fine. Take Caretaker. Cast a Wildling. They reveal a Swamp. Okay, well, you know what? They got me with the Juke. The second Swamp that was not in the original hand. That's okay. I probably should have go for the throated this one so they could just take a Macabre, because now they can take the go for the throat and they have 2 of these, which is just worse, I think, but it's okay. Okay. I mean, I guess also if we just get a Pestilence, I can take both of these back, and that'd be even better. Pestilence would be probably one of our best draws. Cast down is fine too. Play this Fiend. Play a Rot Farm. Pick up the Garden. So if I get a Pestilence, I can also... play a Garden to keep it alive after wiping the board. Lead the Stampede. They get a Vandal and a Wall of Roots. I'll take 2. I think we're in a totally fine spot, but we certainly have gotten a lot of lands here. I guess I'd probably stop attacking, because we're trading 1 for 2, which is generally fine, because they're going to hit us all at once, but I do need more life than them for a Pestilence to be most effective. There's a Wall of Roots and a Gate Creeper Vine. Fails to find. So, unless I'm crazy, I feel like they had 3 forests and 1 swamp last game. So maybe they made the swap from the sideboard or something? Let's see, what do they have in hand? These guys. I think I'm snuffing out this Wall of Roots. Giving them their 4th mana is probably not something I want to happen. There's a Wellspring. There's a Wellspring. There's another Cast Down. Play my lands. Pass the turn. There's a Caretaker. If they want to Vandal away a Wellspring, they are allowed to do so. They decide against it. We get a Swamp. Alright, we'll pass. I mean, they're up to 4 mana. Actually, 4 mana means they can Dread Return, which means they can get like a Generous Ent and they can start going that way, which is fine. I have Cast Downs for that, but I actually might want to just go for the Throat the Caretaker so they're not on 4 mana. I think that's actually better. We still have double Cast Down here. Keeping them off 4 mana feels pretty good, because if they Dread Return and I have to kill the target of that, and then they can flash it back, and I have to, I can also kill a Mesmeric Fiend in response and then Fairy Macabre, but I don't want to use it that way. I would like to just find a Pestilence so I can wipe all of this crap away. There's a Vandal. Kill a Wellspring. Wish I'd drawn any of my Fanatical Offerings. Insights. I guess I've used 1. There we go. Draw 3 cards here. There's the Pestilence. Alright, now we should be good, I think. Pestilence. Activate it 3 times. Wipe their board. And they give us the GG. Yeah, we were just looking for that. Wipe their whole board. They can't do anything. We get these cards back. We play a Colony Garden like they're toast. I don't know how long I was muted exactly. I'll have to check later. But we're against Red Madness, and, it's played out pretty much normally here. They snackered on turn 2 with the Grab the Prize. We incited our plant token, and now they're highway robberying here. Sorry for that. But yeah, like I said, nothing crazy has gone on so far. We're at 13 life, so not in a great spot. They have another snacker. I haven't found a spell bomb or anything. Swing. They already drew 2, so I could go for the throat here. Yeah, I kind of think I'd do that. Now if they play a Gutter Snipe, they probably won't have that many spells to cast after it, and I can just cast it down on our turn. They pass. Offering. Cast a Lembus. Don't think I need another offering. I just need to find... We have life gain. Removal. I mean, I guess card draw is kind of what I'm looking for to find some other stuff. Sure, we'll keep. Like, we have some life gain. Obviously, more would be good. We need to hit land drops, but we have those. They bolt us. Yeah, we could just be dead to a decent amount of burn here. Let's see, if we take this, we go to 8, then they cast nothing, then I'm gonna have to, nutrient block, but then they could, kill us in response. I think I probably just sack the nutrient block now, and hope we don't die. I don't have anything to do other than gain 3 life, or kill the snacker, which only gains us 2 life, essentially. So I think doing this makes the most sense. Faithless Looting, brings back the Snacker, discards another one. Could have definitely used a Spell Bomb this game earlier. Like if we draw one now, it's going to be a little too late, I think. Guess I'd still probably take it, but Pestilence, if we had 1 mana, we could wipe the whole board with this. We got to wait till next turn to do that, and then we're taking a ton. But yeah, I guess we just crack this Lembas. We have 1 cast down, and if we survive, we can at least wipe everything away again for 1 turn. Down to 10. Chain Lightning, Lava Dart, and Fire Blast. Well, we get Weather the Storm, which makes this a lot better for us. And honestly, Fairy Macabre for their fairies is not bad. Yeah, we didn't see Campfire, we didn't see Spell Bomb, we didn't see Cauldron Familiar. All of that would have been good. Dilute Indoctrination. The Pestilence doesn't need to really hang around in this match. It's not as important. They have some key creatures to kill, but if I just cast this and they don't happen to have those creatures in hand, I might either whiff or make them discard a Snacker, neither of which I really want. So this is not the matchup for these. And I think we'll cut like one of these guys. Familiar does gain us a little bit of life, but it's not doing that much work chumping. I'd like to keep the targeted removal for Gutter Snipes. And if we can just gain enough life, we don't necessarily need, like, 1 Pestilence is probably fine. We don't necessarily need to keep it around, and I don't know. It seems fine to me. It's so close. We just need a land. I could keep it, but then if we don't find a land, we're going to have to use the Spell Bomb just to draw a land, and if we don't draw the land, we're really bad. Plus, we've used our Spell Bomb. We get a mulligan this. This one is better. I think we're getting rid of the Pestilence. That means we only have 1 left in the deck until I shuffle. But I kind of need a cast down in case they play an early Gutter Snipe or whatever. And we have Bajuka Bog, which is nice. We also have a Fairy Macabre in case they just get some Snackers into the yard when I can't bog them away. Obviously, an untapped land there would have been nice to play a Wellspring, but we'll pick this up. They bolt us. Plot a Highway Robbery. Weather the Storm's going to be good, but obviously we gotta get some more mana first. Well, gotta hit my land drops, so Useless Bog. Grab the prize with the Fiery Temper. Yeah, would love to have a Weather the Storm up here, but so it goes. We really need to draw an untapped land here, because then I get to hold up Offering, cast down Weather. Whereas if I don't, I'm going to have to play the Lembas to try to find it. Then I'm probably not going to have the Weather up, because all of our green sources come into play tapped. Yeah. They also Robbery here, interesting. Usually you'd want to save that for when you could get a Snacker, which they can't since they've already drawn 3, or when they have a Gutter Snipe. They just discard a Looting. I guess they probably want to do it when we don't have Weather the Storm mana up, which is fair. Totally fair. Yeah, there's that. I guess maybe I actually go for the Offering here, because if Lembas can see 2 cards, Fanatical can see 3. Fanatical's better later with the Weather the Storm, though. I'm just gonna Lembas. No, another Weather. Yep, that's pretty bad. I guess if we draw a land on our next turn, then the Offering would have hit. Grab the prize. We're gonna exile the Snacker and the Looting. Smash to smithereens on our Lembas. That's pretty annoying. Untapped land. Nope. So we wouldn't have even hit it last turn. Come on. We play so many lands. I could hold up a Weather the Storm here. I kind of think my best bet is to Fanatical holding up our green. So if I get an untapped land, I could at least Weather for 6 life, which could maybe keep us alive, because I can't hit untapped green, so this is the only way I could cast the Weather. Well, I guess we're just not supposed to win this one. We'll discard a Pestilence. I mean, if we don't die right here, we can hold up Campfire and Weather. Start using Campfire every turn, and that could be pretty good. They go for a Faithless. Discard 2 mountains. Grab the prize with a Lava Dart, so Fire Blast would kill us. Epicure, so 1 Bolt will kill us. Flashback the Lava Dart, and there's the Chain Light. Yeah, I mean, that was just... We probably don't have the best matchup, especially pre-sideboard, so game 1 was like medium, but, you know, obviously we got burned out. This one was just missing lands, even though we had kind of the answers in hand, unfortunately. We got a mulligan, a 1-lander. This one will keep, get rid of one of the familiars. Okay, more red. We draw a Swamp, so I could play the familiar turn 1, but then I'm not playing anything turn 2. I think I'd rather just play the Garden. I can chump. If they're Rally or something, I can, you know, maybe even chump a 2-power creature. Looks like they're on 1 land. Swamp. I'm going to go with the Wellspring, even though we take some damage here. Campfire is a good draw. So next turn I can Campfire Cauldron and activate the Campfire. Discard a Snacker, so it's more Mono Red Madness. We'll see if we can get a better match this time. I mean, they're on 1 land, so things are already looking up a little bit. Play this guy and play the Campfire. They're going to swing still. I will definitely block. Activate the Campfire. They have grabbed the prize, discarding a Kitten, get back a Snacker. So I'll play a Lembas, which can bring back the Familiar to block the Epicure. Yeah, I'll keep some card draw. Play a Bridge and pass. Swing with the Snacker. Cast a Robbery for a Temper. We'll gain 2, go to 13 here. Spellbomb's nice. They have nothing in the grave, but we can cast on the Snacker if we want to, which we might. I think I'm just leaving up all my possibilities. I have Insight, Cast Down, Lembas, Spellbomb, Campfire, and Cauldron Familiar to use. So if I cast down the Snacker, the problem is they could just get a Gutter Snipe, which I don't currently have an answer for. And I guess I am offsetting the damage with the campfire. You know, I think we'll take it until we have another removal spell. I think we'll just blank the snacker with the campfire, grab the prize temper and an epicure. Let's draw 3 here. All right, Pestilence can wipe all of these away for 5. Then I bring back the familiar, activate campfire, keep this around, and we're at 10. I think that's our best bet. I mean, we could still definitely die here, but oh, we're at 9 because we actually lose 1 to this. I think we want to keep around the Pestilence, to be honest. And I'll crack the Spellbomb if I need to. Even if I don't get a card, obviously, but I need to activate the campfire here because like we could still just be burned out from 9. The third grab the prize fiery temper combo this game. So we die to a fire blast. I don't have to blow this up because I could like Pestilence this snacker away, but I'd rather not have to deal myself damage and also like rebuy the cat. Like if we survive here somehow, then I can nutrient block, gain some life. Maybe we'll be okay with the campfire. But a bolt and an epicure, 2 bolts, 2 lava darts. There's the fire blast. Fiery temper plus grab the prize is a crazy combo. Weather the storm and fairy macabre. Deadly indoctrination was really cool in match 1, and now I'm not really getting to see it very much. We once again have a 1 lander. 19 lands is a good amount. Maybe we go up to 20, but 19 plus all the card draw we got. We'll keep this one, get rid of a go for the throat. Start with the campfire, the kitten. I don't like wasting turns to activate campfire, but I think I just need to Lembus to make sure we hit our land drops here. Well, we were going to, but that's okay. The highway robbery, discard a snacker. We're gonna exile it. Dark Moss Bridge. Probably want to, I mean, I want to activate campfire. I probably don't want to sack the Lembus to the offering, so let's just play this. Another kitten. Take 2, gain 2. All right, well, now we're probably going to sack the Lembus. The life gain's really good, but I'd rather keep Campfire and Dark Moss Bridge around, and I need to make something happen, clearly. Swing for 2, play a mountain and pass. Let's go for an offering, and Campfire. Play a garden. I think we're going to map onto this, because if it gets a counter, then I can hold back both of these. Or maybe it draws out a bolt, or, yeah, a Lava Dart, I guess. Makes more sense. All right, well, we'll draw 2 instead. I guess that's fine as well. We'll pass. They bolt us. We're going to Campfire. Bolt again. So we're 11, down to 9. Lava Dart puts us to 8. They got 2 cards in hand. Okay, nice. I think we might be okay now, because now we get to Cauldron Familiar, play a nutrient block. We have a good amount of life gain here. I will certainly trade for one of these, or at least force them to use it. Yep, discard, get a temper. Campfire in response. Play a mountain. I'm going to hope they don't have double Fire Blast here. I guess Fire Blast, Bolt, Lava Dart would do it. Okay, we find a weather finally. So pass. And if they cast like 2 spells, we can definitely make it worthwhile by like sacking. I guess we could cast this down. I don't know if we're going to do that, but if they just pass, I will sack this and see what we draw to maybe weather. Draw 2. Fairy Macabre. I don't really want to cast this kitten down. Yeah, let's just do this. They're going to smash this now to smithereens or cast into the fire. That's fine. Is this enough? Could I weather for 9 life? I kind of feel like I can do better because I think I'm just going to hard cast this. So I have a blocker and also something to sacrifice. It's just not that hard for them to cast like 2 spells on a turn. And then we can cast 2 spells and gain 12 instead. I kind of forgot that we have Dark Moss Bridges, which I didn't mention at the beginning of the video, but they can obviously be sacrificed to a Fanatical Offering, so I probably should have done that on our last turn, but that's okay. We got a Nutrient Block. We're in a good spot here, I think. We're going to sack this to the cat, and then we're going to sack the cat to the offering. Oh, and another Nutrient Block. Perfect. Draw 2, and yeah, we have an Insight too to sack the map, and now we can just play a block, play a Lembus. Sure, we'll take another Lembus, play that. We'll keep a Macabre. I think we just weather the storm twice here, because it seems very hard for them to kill us through that. Attack for 2. Alright, they can see. Let's go again. Alright, double weather in hand. Not the most card draw, but we have our land drops as well. We keep it. Kitten. I'm not going to start with a bridge. I could so that I could play like a Cauldron Familiar if I draw that, but it could also get cast into the fire, so I'd rather that does not happen. Take a damage here. Spellbomb is good. I'm going to put that down first, so that if there is a snacker, which obviously there wasn't this time, but if there is later, we can get rid of it. And I can chump this at any time. I figure I might as well wait in case I draw like a Fanatical Offering, for example. They have another kitten. Sure, I'll block one of those. Draw 2. Macabre's a nice draw. Another Weather the Storm. Alright, so playing a Dark Moss Bridge and Probably just a nutrient block. Maybe should have done the old map onto the plant, but then they probably just dart it. I think we're probably fine. We have enough stuff to sacrifice now. I think I will just chump. Play a mountain. I could use some more lands, so let's just draw here. Pestilence. It's not a land. Let's go for a Lembus. Land is what we want. Play a swamp. Play nothing. I probably just cast one of these down. I tap out a Weather the Storm this turn. They haven't played anything, so they could just have a whole bunch of burn, which tapping out of Weather the Storm could be a good way to die. Sure, let's just not do that. Get rid of a Go for the Throat. Probably don't need all of those anyway. Take 2. Sack of food. Offering. Let's do that on the map. Rot Farm. Again, if we just tap for Lembus, we tap out of Weather the Storm. I feel like we're kind of, like, it feels safe enough, but I guess we'll just not take the risk, because I think we have a good shot of winning this if we don't. Do I even need 3 weathers? Probably not, but I also don't think we should get rid of one. Let's get rid of a Pestilence and a Cast Down. Swing for 2. They're almost putting a dent in us. We're at 17. No mountains, so 7 spells. It's a lot. Start with a Lembus. I mean, I'd take more lands. Yeah, I guess hitting our land drops is pretty good, because it just makes it better for our weathers and stuff later. Let's play a nutrient block 2. Block, and I guess if they have 4 bolts and a fire blast, they could kill us in response to us cracking a nutrient block. We'll just let them discard a card. I don't think that's likely, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, and if they fiery temper us, now I'll nutrient block. They would have to have 2 fire blasts, 3 bolts in response. All right, take 3. Heaped Harvest. Ooh, sure. Like, I could just go for a big weather play at some point here, but the more lands we get, the obviously better the Weather the Storms are going to be at some point. So if we just cast like 1, 2, 3 and gain, I don't know, 20-ish life off of all of them together, we could definitely still lose that. Whereas if we get like 60 life off of them, there's no way we're going to lose. We'll take 2 here, play a mountain. We're going to crack a Heaped Harvest for another swamp. Bajuka Bog. We're going to cast a Macabre at this point, I think. Bog them away. 1, 2, and yeah, we're holding everything up now. Triple weather. So now if they have a turn where they just cast 2 to 3 spells, we go for the big weathers and we'll be good. I mean, we're on turn 10 and they've cast 3 spells, so they might just kill this. That's totally fine. Yep, we'll take 2, and I'll even crack the Lembus, gain some life. The 4th weather, 4, so I can also still play a Macabre. I mean, if they cast 2 spells, which maybe they won't, they'll just bolt the Fairy Macabre, but like if they cast 1 spell here, then I could weather for 9, plus 12 is 21, plus 15 is 36, plus 18 is 54. So 2 spells plus all the weathers is 54 life. That seems alright. They're finally going for it. Here's a Gutter Snipe. I think I'd probably let it resolve. They surely have a bunch of things to cast in response, but I'm just not seeing a way we die with all these weathers. And if they just pass here, I cast it down, and if they try to respond with a bunch of stuff, we got these to cast. Like, they lava dart us. I was going to say I'd let the first spell resolve, but honestly, since it's dart and it actually gives them an extra spell, I don't think I let the first one resolve. I think I just cast the weather here. This is the safest, and it seems very hard for us to lose here. And I'll probably just cast 2 more, but I'm obviously going to let the cast down resolve first to see if they want to cast more themselves. Another lava dart. Not sure why they wouldn't let the first one resolve first. Now they only have 1 mana. They could have 3 fire blasts, I guess, for 18 damage. Even that, I think I'm just going to let these resolve. See if they want to cast anything else before I weather again. Flashback the dart. Flashback another dart. We're down to 18. Now if they go for a fire blast, I'll probably weather, but they don't. All right, let's gain 1 million here, and then might as well gain another 1 million. Up to 69. That is pretty nice. Let's map onto here. If they want to bolt it, so be it. Fanatical, we'll leave that on top. Swing for 3. Play a Colony Garden. I'm surprised they're still playing. I don't know what their plan is. I mean, I guess if they get like 2 Gutter Snipes out, maybe, but I think that was their first one. Otherwise, they would have cast one a while ago, I feel like. Fiery Temper on the Macabre. You got it. I'm just going to sack this. I feel like we could probably get something to play. Insight. Go for the throat. Pestilence. Pestilence, we wouldn't have a way to keep it all around. So I probably want to wait on that. Let's go for an Insight on the bridge. A couple nutrient blocks. I could weather for 5 here. I kind of think I'll just leave it. 15's a lot of life. We have enough life that we can potentially set up an even bigger one later, I think. There's a robbery. Discard a snacker. Finally, the spell bomb's paying off. It could have been paying off this whole time in that they maybe just weren't doing this for several turns, but now they just kind of have to make something happen, and that's obviously fine too. Colony Garden lets us keep around our Pestilence, assuming they don't have a way to kill it, which they certainly could. Yeah, I don't even know if we need to do that right now, honestly. Let's just crack a block, play a swamp, play another block, pass. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is what like sports call garbage time. But there's another kitten. I probably don't want to sack this block now, because if I find a Cauldron Familiar, which is the goal, then I can actually keep the Pestilence alive. I think we can take another hit or two before I have to throw this out there. Insight. Alright, well this time, so I can do this, activate, they can discard and draw in response. There's a snacker. They can actually trigger the snacker to come back. That's funny, if they do it to all three of them. Of course, then it dies to the Pestilence. Yep, kill it off. Gonna play the Garden here, and then they have to kill this before our end step if they want to kill the Pestilence, and if they don't, if they did, then I'd Insight it in our main phase, and we could still maybe cast some other stuff, and since they didn't, we can actually just Pestilence them for 7 here. They can still kill it before their end step, but if they don't, we're going to be okay, I think. Flashback and Faithless, that's cool. So like if this makes it to their end step, I can ping them for 7 and then ping them for 10 when we untap. But they can obviously just Fiery Temper it, but I guess getting the snacker back is also going to be a creature to sit on the field, so they'd have to kill both of them. And we're going to end step, so now we just Pestilence for a bunch here, crack a block, untap, and Pestilence for a bunch more. Well, it turns out 4 Weather the Storms is pretty good against the Mono Red Storm opponent, and we take the match. All right, round 4 here, and this hand looks pretty good. Against Terror, it looks like. Indoctrination can't take any of their spells, but it could take a Mystic if they're playing that main deck, or obviously just a Serpent. And honestly, the Indestructible creature can be really good against a Serpent because they can Sleep the Dead it, but they can't Demon Inferior it, and usually they don't play Boomerang anymore. They don't shuffle Ponder. We'll start with the Garden in case I want to Rot Farm it back on turn 2. Although I guess then I would be discarding a card, so I probably don't want to do that. So I'll probably just play the Dark Moss Bridge, in which case I could have gotten down the Familiar a turn earlier and started attacking. Yeah, I probably should have played that first, actually. If we draw an untapped land, it won't matter because I'll play a 2-drop. Get an Offering. Yeah, I should have played the Familiar, or the Dark Moss Bridge first. I just wasn't really thinking about it. They thought Scour away their Brainstorm, which was Mental Note Demon Inferior, so that's 5 spells already. Brainstorm, and they don't cast anything. Well, that's a nice thing to see. Okay, Nutrient Block is interesting, because if I just play like a Wellspring and then a Rot Farm, both of those buy back a card, so I actually have to discard. Which isn't the end of the world if I discard like the Familiar, but I might as well not because it's just a free chump block I'm losing. So I could just play Nutrient Block, Cauldron Familiar. Then I'm stuck with all 2s in hand, so it fits my curve a little bit worse, but I'm also going to play, yeah, because I'm going to have 3 mana next turn. Yeah, it is worse for the curve, but it's more card efficient. So I think we're going to do that. Obviously they could have a counterspell here or whatever, but not too worried about this or this getting countered. And this is a match where we're happy to have as many plant tokens as possible, so I'm certainly going to be picking up the Garden every time I can. Keep sending that message. There's a Terror and a Brainstorm and another Terror. All right. So I kind of want to try the Daily Indoctrination, make the bridge an indestructible attacker, or a blocker rather, because we do have some chump blockers with the plants and the Familiar, but we're going to go through them really quickly, so being able to turn that down every single turn is pretty good. Also, if we just hold up like Offering here for a chump block, they could counter it, which isn't the end of the world, but I think we're going to go for it. Obviously, we also don't have a ton of lands at the moment, and this kind of uses up a land, but we can still tap it if we want. If they do find a way to kill it, which shouldn't happen, but if they killed it or exiled it, it comes back as a land. And I think I'm just jumping with a plant. The Familiar comes back, but do I want to be... I guess, yeah, actually, I want to draw with the block here because I do want to hit more land drops, but like I don't necessarily want to use up all my food right away, but yeah, I think this time we want to make sure to hit that land drop. Now if they play like just a couple more Serpents, the bridge is gonna fall behind pretty quickly, but if these are all they got, then it might be okay. All right, draw a card here. Offering, hit them for 1. Bajuka Bog, well that's a hell of a draw. That's definitely the land we want. All right, so I'm gonna go for a Lembas, and then I can hold up Offering because this can still tap for mana, so I can hold up an Offering with a chump block. I obviously cast this first, so if they counter it, I can Bajuka Bog them away, but go for the Throat is good, I think. I do want even more lands, so maybe I should have gotten rid of it for that, but obviously killing these seems pretty decent too. Do I want to block with the Familiar this turn, using up my Lembas? Probably not, because I want to have the Familiar around for when we get a Pestilence down, assuming we can get a Pestilence down, so, and currently this is our only food, so I think I'm fine jumping with these guys. Block, and we will Offering the plant away. If they counter this, it's just kind of immaterial. I mean, 4 Spike's good, getting some good value out of it. And they do need to refill their graveyard. Ooh, especially because that's coming. Play a Wellspring. We want to hold up another Offering, so I don't really want to get 4 Spiked again, so I think I'm just gonna hold up Offering with an extra mana. I could play the Spellbomb, but that probably gets countered, And then also I could maybe get Force Spiked again, so let's just play around it. This time, block, block. I'm still going to sack the plant even though we have a Wellspring here. Just try to be efficient with our material, our cards. If they use a full counterspell, I'm happy with that exchange. Swamp's a great draw. I also kind of want to hold this Go for the Throat. Like, we are running low-ish on creatures at this point, but I want to hold the Go for the Throat for like a Mystic. They might not be playing Mystic main deck, but Illuminati has been doing that, doing a Delverless version with a couple Mystics main deck, and if we get hit by that, it's going to be really brutal. We don't really need another Cauldron Familiar, so we'll put that on the bottom. Another Spellbomb's nice, though. Sure, let's run that out. Because if that gets hard countered, then I can play another one. And if not, then that's totally fine. And now I can still do my draw 2. I guess I might want to use the draw 2 on the Wellspring here, because we're running low on the draw 2s. Still going to chump block, though. Cyclolorian. Okay, they could play another Serpent. Maybe I should have responded, but they don't even. Nice. Draw 3. They're going to counterspell. Daily Indoctrination. We don't have another artifact land at the moment, but if I can find another, that'd be really funny to make a second one. Can't even deal with the first. Cast down's good. Play another Wellspring. Go for the Throat. All right, we have I do want to keep them from playing another Terror. I still haven't played a land, so I'd like to draw that. And we have another Spellbomb I can always use, so. Nutrient block. All right, let's just pass. I certainly could take a hit from a Terror. It's not the end of the world, but we have a lot of things to do with like sacking this, so I think it would just make sense to like, get Olympus back in our deck, ping them for 1, jump block here. There's a Mystic. See, I knew it was coming. They have counterspell mana, but we have 2 removal. Well, we have 3 removal spells. Oh, there's the Dark Moss too. So we're definitely gonna just. I could wait till their upkeep, but then they could have multiple counterspells. So I'm just gonna go for the Throat now. They counterspell, so we'll kill it again, and probably just play the Spell Bomb while they're tapped out. These don't have flying like Kenku's, so Kenku Artificer lands, so I can't block the Bird Illusions. Ideally, we should have plenty of life gain that it won't be a big deal, but it is relevant. I probably need to keep this Spell Bomb around for a Sleep of the Dead, because Sleep of the Dead could really screw us up. Obviously, we've already purged a lot of their graveyard, but if they find Sleep and then a couple of Thought Scours. Oh, I meant to bring back the Cauldron Familiar and jump there too. Oh well, we took an extra hit. Should be fine, probably. They have a Lorien. No, they do have a Serpent. Okay. Well, I can also cast down one of these guys, so I don't mind the tapping out for that. Play a Wellspring. I'm probably going to Daily this. Oh, we have another one. Jeez. Yeah. We're going to make another Indestructible land, Earthbend 2 on the Dark Moss Bridge, and then I can just cast this down during attacks. Play a block. Yeah, pass. Okay, so I can also now, and I think I will, I can bring back the cat. It could be a little risky. I can triple block like a Terror and actually start killing them off now that I have 2 bridges and a familiar that comes back. Now that means I'm going to take 12. I'm going to try to cast down the Serpent, but if they have a counterspell for that, I am going to take 12 down to 5. But I have some more life gain, actually down to 6 because I have this. I think it's probably for the best, but we get to start killing their creatures, which I think is pretty good. And yeah, we're going to try to cast this down. If they have a counterspell, so be it. Brainstorm to try to find it. And if not, I get to kill this, and then this guy just, he's going to do nothing for the rest of the game. Oh, that worked. That's so good. Look at that. Ponder. I think really the only thing I'm scared of now is another Murmuring Mystic. Now, just because we don't have a removal spell for it right now, we've used both our Go for the Throats and 1 cast down, so we have 3 cast downs left. We need to work on probably finding a Pestilence and getting our life total up so that we can Pestilence them out without dying, which I can do with this Campfire. We have Lembuses, Cauldron Familiar. I think we'll be okay. I probably just bring back the Cauldron Familiar now on the end step so I can attack for 1, because they're not going to attack with this Terror now that I'm going to have these bridges back, unless they play like 2 more Serpents here, which obviously could change things. Oh, well, there's 1 Serpent. But there's still not. I guess there's no reason to bring it back now because I can't attack in, so that's fine. Cast down, perfect. So I'm going to save that for a Mystic, I think. And yeah, we're just going to play a Campfire and hold up Campfire, Eviscerator's Insight, and everything else. They can attack in with the Bird, which could be minorly annoying, but it's not going to be too devastating, I think. If they do get a Sleep of the Dead here, they could tap both of these. I could still survive with like cast down and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good, but it would still be a decent draw for them. They're still going to attack. Why would they even attack? Because I can block. Okay, yeah, they realized. If they did that, I could still bring back the Familiar and triple block, and maybe I would take some damage, but that would be my choice, so they shouldn't let me have that choice. Flashback Insight on a Wellspring, and then activate Campfire for Daily Indoctrinations. These ones probably aren't going to be doing too much, but the other ones have been really good. We have 1 more Insight. Or no, we have a Cauldron Familiar in the grave. Okay. I could check their hand. I just don't think they're going to have anything else. Anything to hit. Let's play this. and just pass. I mean, they can't attack in except for the bird. We're gaining more life than the bird's dealing. I don't want to use Spellbomb until they have like a Sleep of the Dead in the grave. I don't want to use Cast Down until they hit another Mystic. There it is. Which just one Cast Down might not kill because they could have another counterspell. So I probably want to wait to use it for a bit. Campfire. I guess I could just check their hand with the Daily Indoctrinations first. It can't actually take anything except for, and then unless they have another terror or something. Well, let's start with Olympus here. Offering is good. I think it probably is worth checking their hand, but I actually don't need to do it right now. Mystic isn't that scary. Like if they counter this, yeah, that'd be kind of annoying, but I think that's probably fine. They're probably just gonna save protection for that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna next turn or end step, I'm gonna their end step, I'm gonna cast down the Mystic probably. And if they counter that, then I can probably get a Pestilence through is my thought. There's a mental note. Well, I guess we don't want them to make too many birds. Maybe I'll just cast this down now. And if they have the last card if the last card is a counterspell, they got it, sure. But the Pestilence also wipes away the birds, so depending on how careful I want to be, I could still Indoctrination their hand to make sure there's nothing for the Pestilence. I probably will, because if Pestilence doesn't resolve, we might actually lose. Flashback, Deep Analysis. I guess there's a possibility I should exile their graveyard here at some point, because if they find the Sleep of the Dead, they could actually just tap everything and win. Right? Demon Inferior, the Cauldron Familiar. I have another one in my grave, so I don't really care about that. I mean, it is a blocker that's gone, but yeah, you got it. Block. So let's just make sure. 6, 11, they have 14 damage, or 15 damage, so if they were to find the Sleep of the Dead here, they could tap both of these. I wouldn't die, but I couldn't then use Pestilence very effectively, so I think we probably do, just to make sure that there's no way they could, I don't know why they'd do this if they have the Sleep. How much mana do we have? Because we can Daily, 4 for Pestilence, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm actually not going to have mana to wipe the board here with Pestilence if I also go for the Daily. Yeah, okay, we'll just let this go. Put it on the bottom. I'm going to assume they wouldn't do that if they had the Sleep of the Dead. I don't know. Now they have a Ponder. That could find a Sleep of the Dead. Yeah, sure. Let's just be safe. I just feel like we probably can win this game pretty easily as long as they don't have Sleep of the Dead. I'm not going to draw a card because I'd have to tap one of these, and I obviously don't want to do that. Mental Note finds Force Spike, Cryptic Serpent. Yep, they just swing at the birds. Makes sense. I'll take 3. Activate Campfire. All right, so I am going to Daily just to make sure that the Pestilence is going to resolve. And if they have a counterspell, then I can't actually do anything about it, and I have to just not cast the Pestilence, I guess. But they Thought Scour in response. Hit 2 islands. I don't know if they think this is going to take a Thought Scour or what, but this is actually just showing me that they what they draw. I mean, if they counter this, I would love that. Force Spike. Okay, I don't think they read this card, which is fair. It's brand new, and who has read this card? Actually, let's pay... Oh, wait. I tapped green and then I meant to undo and I said no, so they Force Spiked it. There's no way they could have a real counterspell then, right? Because I could cast another Daily Indoctrination, but that seems probably unnecessary. I should have paid. That was the intention. 1, 2. Okay, I'm pretty sure I can still just win. Let's cast this to make 100% certain. Okay, an island. Perfect. That was very silly to click no. That was not the intention, obviously. But if this resolves, I can block, wipe all the birds away, and the next turn I can untap, wipe everything away, and we have our guys that are indestructible, not going to die, and we can win. Okay, so obviously this couldn't actually take anything from their hand, but honestly, just being able to check, really good. This card has obviously been the MVP this game. There's the Sleep of the Dead finally. Oh, that's pretty bad, actually, isn't it? Because they can finally sleep these. 1, 2. I can wipe away all of these. This is what, 11, 12? Okay, I could just barely survive. They sleep both of these. I can Pestilence for 1 to wipe everything away except for the big guys. So I'm taking 12. Pestilence for 1, I go to 1, but I can also have 1 mana for a Campfire here. They've Deep Analysis. Okay, sure. They play an island, so yeah, they do have double sleep if they want it. They don't? That's crazy. What are they doing? They don't want to sleep these? Well, I would like to deal a damage to all of those birds, please. And each of us. Well, I played this a little sloppy for sure, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 black mana, plus the Dark Moss Bridge, which I can use now. So I don't need to Campfire here. Pestilence for 1, and then I untap and I just Pestilence to win. Let's just do that and not fret any longer. This is a new deck to me. These are new cards, forgive me. And they concede. Yeah, they saw that we were going to win there. The Daily Indoctrination was insane. They're going to probably have Steel Sabotage from the sideboard. Some decks run just a null, but usually they run some steals, so I don't know if it's worth keeping all of these in. Well, what do we get from the sideboard? 2 Snuff Outs, maybe Fairy Macabre for Sleep of the Dead. That's not very good. Everything else is fine. I don't know. This card was obviously so good. I just feel like if they have Steel Sabotage, it's kind of a big waste. And it can't actually... If we get one in our opening hand, we can use it just to kill a serpent, probably. If they'll probably have a Serpent or a Mystic in hand, but if we don't, if we get it later, then like it's not great, except for Gitaxian probing their hand. I'm going to cut a couple of these because I feel like they're probably going to respect them a lot more knowing what they are, and probably have some Steel Sabotages. And so having a couple could still be decent, but the Duress mode, as we talked about, is just not the most effective, so I think that's probably fine. This hand does not do a lot early. We have some removal, but we don't even have a swamp for this. And we really need to be drawing some cards while they're like filling their graveyard, so I think we got to ship this one. This looks better to me. Obviously, we still need some more card draw, but it might be the Indoctrination we get rid of. If I keep it, I could use it on just turn 2 to try to snipe a Mystic or a Terror and kind of see what their hand is. Probably want to keep around the Familiar, the Nutrient Block. Campfire even is pretty decent. And obviously Snuff Out. Yeah, part of me thinks it might be okay, but I think it's our worst card in the hand. I guess I just play a Familiar. I don't care if that gets Force Spiked, and I'd rather these not to get Force Spiked. Force Spoke. Mental Note hits 2 islands. Nice for us. Thought Scour hits 2 islands. Pretty brutal for them. And if I Wellspring, they could Force Spike. I hate having to play around the Force Spike, but obviously it's pretty relevant if it gets countered. I could just Campfire. It's probably fine. If I get a land naturally, then I can play around the Force Spike. If I don't, I might have to play into it with like the Fanatical Offerings, but so be it. I mean, the fact that they hit 4 islands is definitely rough. Like, if they don't have more ways to fill the graveyard, they're just kind of stuck for a bit, which is also why I don't really want to cast things into their counter spells, because then they can use those to fill the graveyard. So I'm just going to play the Nutrient Block. We find the bridge. Although only one Daily Indoctrination left in the deck, except at the very bottom. There's a Ponder. Demon Inferior on the Familiar. It's kind of interesting. It's a weak one for us to keep, but also I do want to have it around, right? I guess we put it second from the top. Although I am looking for lands, maybe it's not worth it. Hopefully we just have a land on top. Oh my god, what a land to have on top. Okay, well then we get to play a Wellspring, draw our Familiar, play that, and then Bojuka Bog them. I could have held this back, and then so we could Campfire this turn, but they're not doing a lot. I think I'd rather just get the attack on here. Play a Colony Garden. I guess in their upkeep I'm going to Offering, just so that if they want to counter it, they might not be able to do much else. I don't know. I mean, they probably won't have much else to do anyway, but I just think that's probably the right time to do it. And it resolves, which is fantastic. There's a Ponder. And we even have the answer if they get just like a Mystic down, which is great. They don't shuffle. Activate Campfire. Let's map onto this plant, I guess. You got a Rot Farm, sure. Hit for 1 and Rot Farm back the garden. Pass. I mean, this Cauldron Familiar could go the distance if they keep drawing. Not a lot. Brainstorm could help, though. Probably about time to crack this Nutrient Block, I would say. Assuming I don't, cast down on the end step here. Mental Note hits Ponder and Null. All right, that's 5 spells. There's a Serpent, and looks like they're trying to cast a Terror, but they do not have mana for that. Let's cast this down, and I might as well activate the Campfire. Rot Farm, swing for 1, crack a Nutrient Block, go for the Throat, sure. I probably should have, well, it's okay. I'm gonna pick up the Bojuka Bog, so I should have used that to tap for mana, but that's okay. Also, I should have then tapped it for the Campfire, but I think I'll be all right. Now, if they get some Serpents down, I can cast them down, Snuff Out, go for the Throat, and then Bojuka Bog after. Mystic. Thought Scour first. It's a counter spell and an island. There's a Serpent. Another Serpent. Oof. The fact that these are not actual terrors is rough. They do find 1, but I get to... Yeah, I can't Pestilence everything away, otherwise I would probably do that. But I can Snuff Out, go for the Throat, Campfire, and then Bojuka Bog. And I could Pestilence while they're tapped out. I think that's probably worth it. I'm not necessarily going to use it to the greatest effect here, but like it can kill the Terror later unless they have like a Demon Inferior, in which case that's fine too. You get it through counter spells, so that feels all right. Deep Analysis, sure. Chump with the plant, Campfire. I could attack for 1, but I'm going to wipe the board anyway. I might as well just Pestilence for 2, because then I can play a Wellspring, Pestilence for 5, and then Garden. And we even get the Spell Bomb, which I guess I could use to get rid of the Deep Analysis. Probably worth it. If they have a counter spell, that's fine. If not, then I'll just activate it in their upkeep, so they have 2 fewer draws to find like a Demon Inferior to get rid of the Pestilence. I guess if they just find a way to get rid of the plant, they can do it too, but that would also probably just be a Demon Inferior. Another Deep Analysis. Flash it back, and they give us the GG. All right, round 5 here, and no card draw. We do have land drops for a while, which is pretty good. I guess we'll keep it. I mean, we really need to find some card draw, but we have the fodder to make that happen. Start with the bridge here. Looks like it could be more Terror, potentially. Pestilence. I'm going to cast a Campfire if they Force Spike it. Spell Pierce, whatever, that's fine. If not, we'll just get down a Garden. I mean, this hand isn't bad against Terror. Cyclolorian. Aquifer. All right, Dimir. So it could be Dimir Terror, Fairies, or Control. Those are the main three. Play that and pass. Offering is a nice draw, so I think I might just do that. They didn't counter the Campfire with just 1 mana, so maybe they just don't have the ability to, and I'd rather it doesn't get countered by like an actual counter spell. Obviously, if they have the counter now, or maybe they have a Dispel that they couldn't use before, that's fine, but all right. Daily Indoctrination could be good. If they're Fairies, it can be good against the ninjas. If they're Terror, it can be good against everything. I might also just cast it to look at their hand. Seething Landscape, Modern Age. Okay, so probably the Snacker Control, in which case, yeah, there's the Snacker. The Earthbend's really not going to be relevant because they're not going to have, they might have some Gurmags, but they're not going to have a lot of guys on the ground. They're not going to have ninjas, but they are going to have probably a fair number of creatures, so I might just send it off. Ooh, well, we get a Wellspring. Probably we'll just play that actually then. And I'll keep the Rot Farm an extra turn. If we get like a Bajuka Bog, that's probably better to bounce to get 2 uses out of. Brainstorm. Well, can't do anything about that, unfortunately. Snacker comes back. Discard a Ploy of Dahada. Brainstorm. Sack the Landscape to clear the Brainstorm. Play an island. They swing for 2, and I'll activate Campfire to gain the 2 back. So they have Spell Stutter Sprite up, or just Counterspell. I need to play this Rot Farm, so I need to play something here, rather than just holding up, like, Insight. Go for the Throat, so I'm probably just going to Wellspring. I could go for the Indoctrination, but I just don't think that seems very good. And if they Spell Stutter, I'll, cast down. Or I guess go for the Throat is probably better. I don't think it should matter in this matchup. So draw a card, and Rot Farm back the Garden. Kind of think I just want more mana. The plants don't seem very relevant. So let's keep the untapped land. Preordain. Both on top. They Bajuka Bog us, not relevant at the moment. Swing for 2, which we'll take. So I have 6 mana, probably go for a Lembas first, play that. I don't really need another Wellspring, played our land, so I probably just hold up. Bunch of draw spells now. They flashback to Hada's Ploy, the end step, that's fine. Maybe I want to cast down this Vector Glider, so I take less damage. Discard a Deep Analysis. Pestilence can wipe it away later. I guess we'd probably just wait. Cast down's probably better for like a Gurmag. Swing for 4, flashback Deep Analysis. Another Modern Age, discard an island. Alright, we'll go for a big draw 3. And I have a cast down if they want to Spell Stutter. Or I could maybe just let it go and draw 3 again with the Insight. The other Insight, I might just do that actually. Keep the cast down around. Plus if they tap out here, I can get a Pestilence down, wipe away the Spell Stutter and the Snacker. There's a Bog. So if I can kill the Snacker, that'd be good. Alright, do I want to go for the other Insight? Because we're already at 8 cards, we're going to draw to 9. Pestilence is going to be hard to resolve. Maybe I don't go for a resolved Pestilence this turn. Yeah, let's just draw a bajillion, I guess. Why not? I have some nutrient blocks, and oh, that's good. A bunch of stuff I can just play. We're going to be at 11 cards, so I want to play 4 that don't draw me extra cards, ideally. Here's a block, Spell Bomb. If they go for a Spell Stutter on that, I could cast down both Snacker and the Spell Stutter. That might be worth it. They don't. I probably do want to kill the Spell Stutter, though, because I'm going to Bajuka Bog here, I think. Hold up the Spell Bomb for later. You know what? Let's go for the Daily Indoctrination. If they have a Spell Stutter, it's going to catch that. If they have a Gurmag, I feel like it's probably going to hit something. If it's not, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a waste, but we have a lot of value anyway. We don't really need to get 100% value out of every card. They Brainstorm in response. Well, that's annoying, because I wouldn't be surprised if they only have, like, a couple creatures and can put them away. Obviously, put away the good ones. Yeah, double Counterspell, cast down Lorien. And those are some good cards. So now, yeah, Pestilence is going to be tough to get through. Maybe I should have done that at the beginning, because then I could have played a Pestilence if they did that. I don't know. Let's just cast down Snacker and Bajuka Bog, I guess. Modern Age draws, discards a Contaminated Aquifer. So that must have been one of the 2 cards they put on top. And then Modern Age could be the other one. Well, it must be the other one. Okay. So they saved a Modern Age. Fair enough. Discard Island. Attack for 2. I mean, their hand is really good and reactive, but I guess other than these Modern Ages, they don't have a ton going on. Play a Lembas. Don't need any more lands. We have plenty. Another Lembas. Sure. Still don't need lands. Apparently we do. Play a Dark Moss Bridge. Do I want to cast down a Vector Glider? Probably. That draws out a Counterspell. That's probably fine. I feel like it probably won't, and that's also fine. But they're going to have a new Vector Glider next turn. Well, this turn and then the next turn. So, like, I'm going to have to kill some of them at some point. And as much as I'd like to do it all with Pestilence for efficiency, I just, Pestilence is pretty far off with all these counterspells. Discard an island. Velagi Archaeologist. Mills Spell Stutter, another Archaeologist, and a cast down. They take the cast down. So now they have 2 cast downs in hand. Activate Campfire, Swamp. Alright, flashback Insight on a map token. And Golgari Rot Farm back a Bajuka Bog. Oh, I had 8 cards in hand. Well, I probably am not going to play all these lands anyway, so it's fine. I think I'm going to get rid of this Garden. I'd rather have the black mana, I think. But probably should have just played a Swamp since I Don't need the bog right now. I mean, it's nice to have access to it if they get like a snacker in the yard, but another Vector Glider, swinging with the first. I guess it is nice to have a Colony Garden in hand, so if we land a Pestilence, wipe the board. If we don't have what's it called? Cauldron Familiar, we can still keep it around. We're going to sack the block here, draw a million. Another Pestilence, okay. That might help a little bit. And there's a Familiar. Let's cast Familiar, cast down a Vector Glider. Looks like that's going to finally draw out a counterspell. Yep. So then I could Pestilence, and that'll lead a counterspell, but then the next Pestilence might resolve next turn. And 2 mana. Yeah, probably just bog. If they do have like a Gurmag Angler, don't want that stuff sitting around. We also have a Spell Bomb for the next snacker or whatever, so let's just do that. Usually they play a couple Gurmags, I believe. Cast down the cat. That's totally fine. Cat will be back. And they still have one more cast down because picked one up from the Archaeologist. Now they're going to Lorien, sure. I'm going to have to dodge a counterspell here. They've already used, was it just those 2? Yeah, and 2 Spell Stutters. Swing for 4, gain life with the Campfire. We have a Wellspring. Well, I guess this doesn't use mana from the Pestilence because it's all green. We have more green. Now if I play the Pestilence, if it gets countered, we have only 1 left in the deck, and we're not in a great spot. We're going to hope it doesn't get countered, I guess. Nice. That worked. All right. Well, we'll ping everybody for 3 to wipe the board. Play a Colony Garden, so we'll have a plant. I assume they'll try to cast it down, but we have the Cauldron Familiar and 3 food on board, so I don't think they're going to be able to kill it. And they don't even try. I mean, they could still do it before the end of their turn, to be fair. I only have 1 mana left, but another Lorien. Sure. I think Blue-Black's going to have a hard time dealing with the Pestilence once it's on the field. I have been on the receiving end of this as Dimir Fairies, and it's been pretty tough. Play an Aquifer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we get to our turn, yeah, we can probably do it. There's the Gurmag. Okay. They have Counterspell mana up. I don't know if they have a counterspell, but they could. I can certainly just kill the Gurmag, though. I'm not super worried about it. Let's just do that now. I guess it doesn't have to be now. In fact, probably makes the most sense to do it in our own upkeep, or in our own end step if we wanted, because then I wouldn't have to return the Familiar immediately in case they had anything. I think we'll be okay, but ping them for 1 and pass. Well, I'll activate Campfire, why not? And I had a plant to block. Okay, so there was I'm still learning the deck. There was no reason to do that. I could have just blocked with the plant, gone to their end step before the Pestilence was going to like need to be used. But we ended up getting the game anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just need to play a little bit better there. Snuff Out can hit Spell Stutter, but it can't hit Snacker. It can also get Vector Glider. Can hit Snacker or the Gurmag. Fairy Macabre, though, hits Snacker, Deep Analysis. If Drown could kill Vector Glider, I might bring that in, because Vector Glider is Spell Stutter and Snacker, but just 2 of those, it doesn't feel very good. Indoctrination, they do have a fair number of permanent cards, and if they did get a Gurmag, me making it indestructible, like an indestructible land, could be really good. I think we maybe cut a couple of these. But again, they're worse than a Duress by a mile for clearing for a Pestilence, but they can still give us that information that we need to see their hand. Spell Bomb is good. Campfire's pretty good. Well, maybe we'll keep the hope alive with 1 of them, but I do think it's our worst card here, so we'll cut another. We already got to see what it can do pretty well. 1 mana and 3 1-drops, but I don't think we're going to keep it. Rot Farm is the only land. All right, Rot Farm and Dark Moss Bridge. Keep this one. I think Pestilence is coming way later, and I guess Insight? Campfire is good. Like, just making sure that they can't kill us for a while is really nice. Even if it's not a burn opponent, like 2 life every turn is crazy good. Okay, that lets me get it under a Spell Stutter Spray. You get Spell Pierced, but it's still not the end of the world. Fine trading that 1 for 1. Oh no, not the Bog. Spell Bomb's pretty good. No Spell Pierce, nice. Okay. Dark Moss Bridge. Probably play this, because I might actually want to sack the Spell Bomb to the Offering and pay the extra black, just because we have nothing else to sacrifice. There's a Modern Age. Pitch a Deep Analysis. Well, oh, and they miss on lands? Well, now they're going to force me to Spellbomb this. I really want to draw cards off of this, but they're missing lands and have a draw 2 that I could get rid of. I feel like I have to. Let's just go for it. Hopefully I draw a... Ichor Wellspring would probably be our best draw. Daily Indoctrination. Do I want to use that now? They could have another Modern Age. They could have a Snacker. Yeah, I think it's okay. Or I could just play a Dark Moss Bridge and I could get a 2/2 next turn, but that just doesn't seem to do much. Yeah, let's go for it. I feel like their deck plays enough that if we whiff here, it's going to be pretty rough. We whiffed last time, but that was because they had the Brainstorm. I don't know. Here's hoping. Yeah, there we go. Deploy, cast down, dispel. So Snacker, or Spell Stutter for sure. I did know that they could have a Snacker that they didn't discard because we had the Spell Bomb, and now they can discard it. That's a little annoying, but I'm still going to take the Spell Stutter. Trigger this, discard a Snacker for sure. I mean, if we're lucky, they still didn't hit a land. Oh, nice. Oh, well, they pass to their second main phase and then they brainstorm, which gets back Snacker and probably hits them a land. So if it doesn't, that'd be pretty nice. But yeah, there's the island. And we have an offering. Obviously, we could sack the bridge, but they just have a Dispel, and I really don't want to sack lands. So I'll probably just go for the Throat on the Vector Glider. If they Dispel that, then on our turn, maybe I'll offering the bridge. We'll take 2. Yeah, cast this down. Well, go for the Throat. It may be vectors, but it still has a Throat. You can see right there. They have a Spell Stutter. Oh, that's annoying. Ugh. And they still have Dispel, so... And I only have one thing to sacrifice, so I can't even, sack this, have this countered, and then sack something else now that the Dispel is gone. So I guess we're just dying, unfortunately. Pestilence would be good. Ooh, got it. Unless they just top decked a cast down a counter spell, but we're gonna Pestilence. Of course they did. Dude, drawing perfectly. I mean, the Pestilence was good, but just, decent enough to catch up. And they just have the answers. Aqueduct, pretty good too. I mean, it's just a land drop, but it's a 2 lands drop. Picks up the Pachuca Bog. We get a cast down. I guess I cast this down. Maybe they Dispel. I offering this and maybe I get somewhere, but probably not. Fairy Macabre, not at the right time. Preordain. Pachuca Bog us, and we take 5, down to 3. They also have a cast down, even if we want to play this Macabre. Plus, it just doesn't keep us alive anyway. I guess this Lembas might, though. They have an Annul. Yeah, let's see what else they got. I guess we know their last cards, but... Alright. Well, when they have the perfect answer every time, it's going to be tough. We knew it wasn't a very good hand, to be fair, but still pretty good showing from them. Yeah, this one's pretty good, actually. Card draw this time, a little bit of interaction. Spell Bomb on turn 1 is pretty nice. And we, despite only having 1 Indoctrination in our hand, we're going to draw it, or in our deck, we're going to draw it both times. Which, it wasn't bad last time. Letting us see what they had going on, taking a Spell Stutter. Untapped land would be great, so I can Lembas here. Nutrient Block isn't bad either, actually. Just a 1-drop I can cast. They cycle a Lorien for an Aquifer. Swamp. Let's go with a Lembas. I shouldn't have played the Swamp first, because what if I get a tap land that I want to play? I mean, this one I don't think I'm going to keep, but if I get another tap land... Yeah, classic. You always got to fight that instinct to play a land the first thing you do. I've been fighting that instinct for a long time. It's probably going to be fine, but like this turn I could have Wellspring offering up and not have to have a tap land in. I think I'm still just going to play this. Pass. They have a Dahada's Ploy. Discards a Snacker. I could have exiled that at the end step, I guess, so they couldn't have used the Ploy. Maybe that would have been better. But they tap out of it anyway. They Modern Age. I guess now if I try to Spell Bomb at any point and they have a Brainstorm up, they could get it back. So I should have probably done it when they were tapped out. Discard a Deep Analysis. Well, if they just flash that back, then I can respond here. Alright, so it's fine. There was no time where I could have taken the Deep Analysis, or obviously I would have. Still decent value from us. And they got a discard. Although they could discard another Snacker or something. That'd be funny. No, an Aquifer. Alright. Let's just draw a bunch here. Play a Swamp. And I'm going to have to discard. So I think I might as well do this Indoctrination. Again, probably should hit something, but we'll find out. Spell Bomb. We do have 2 Insights, but otherwise I don't care too much. Spell Stutter. They have 1 Counter Spell. Brainstorm. Oh, Dispel as well. Yeah, I think we're just taking the Spell Stutter. I guess I'll map onto this. Nutrient Block. We do need some more cards to sacrifice to these. I guess we'll leave that. Plus, it's something cheap we can play if we overdraw. Let's see, they played that or discarded that and lost this. So this should be their hand +1. Discard an island. Play a Modern Age. Discard a Cast Down. Okay. Counterspell mana up. We're not drawing anything that's going to be counterspelled, though. All right. I mean, this is kind of the spot you want to be in. We have a very minor amount of proactivity with the plant, but we just have a ton of card draw, a ton of removal. We get to just pass while hitting our land drops. Obviously, we'll want to find Pestilence eventually, all this stuff, but we're in a pretty good spot, I think. Discard another Cast Down. I mean, that's fair. We don't obviously play a lot of creatures. Spell Bomb is fine. So we want to be a little more careful with using an Insight before I can flash it back right away. I think we'll just go for the Throat on the Vector Glider. Probably Dispel it, or maybe they just don't even care. Yeah, there we go. Then I'll draw off of the Nutrient Block. If they want to counterspell this, that's totally fine. I have plenty more card draw where that came from. So let's cast this down now. Play a Wellspring, Swamp, Swing, and let's see. I'll go for an Insight here. This way they can't counter it. We have 3. We're going to use one of them at the end step for sure, even though they could Spellbomb it. And this lets them set up so they can Spellbomb it away, but I don't think that's a big deal. Whereas if they wait till the end step, they might have already tapped out of the black for Ploy or whatever. But there's a Thorn of the Black Rose. Okay. Well, we get to land Pestilence if we want. We just don't have a cat, which is a bit annoying. If I could find, I've used up some removal. If I can find 2 more removal spells, I can also kill both of these, take the Monarch. That'd be obviously incredible. So what's our best play here? Wiping the board without a, doesn't do that much if Pestilence doesn't survive. So we're definitely drawing. Might as well be like this. And we already saw Cast Down, Go for the Throat. Yes, we still have 4 of those. There's 1. We did get a Colony Garden, so I could play that afterwards, but I don't now have the mana to actually Pestilence everything down, so that's annoying. So I have 2 more draws here. If I find another Cast Down, they could have Snuff Out. I don't know if they would have kept that in their deck. I don't know. If we find another Cast Down here, then I could play them both, but we did not. So we did get a Fairy Macabre. Okay, so I kind of think I just play the Pestilence then, even though we can't use it, because we get it through a counter spell. Yeah, I think so. Might be a little weird, but I think it makes sense. They can't really deal with it once it's on the field. They do have the Monarch. Let's see, we're going to discard probably the Dark Moss Bridge here. To tap land, it doesn't really matter that it's an artifact at this point, except for sacking to one of these. Yeah, I don't know. But theoretically, if we can like wipe the board here, if they've maybe tapped out or tapped low, and then we could land the Fairy Macabre, that could take the Monarch. I think if we get the Monarch, we win the game pretty much, especially if Pestilence is still around. So that's kind of the game plan. I don't expect them to attack here. So yeah, they'll probably just hold everything up, which makes sense. Draw. They're also only at 15. We have 6 black, so I could also just win the game with Pestilence in a couple turns here. Yeah, let's play a Wellspring, Swamp. We're going to probably want to flashback Eviscerator's Insight. Let's get a Campfire down. They could spell Stutter here, but I could Pestilence for 1, so it's not going to be very effective. I'll just pass. Yeah, I mean, if we get another, they Ploy. Yeah, okay, I guess Ploy does gain a little bit of life, because we can deal 6 here, we can play a Swamp and then deal another 8. So we need to just find like 1 more land or 2. Although Ploy can gain another couple life. There's a Modern Age. But I kind of think they probably cannot deal with this. So as long as we can survive, play a couple more black lands, and then get to an end step, their end step, I can wipe the board then for like 8 or 9, and then on our turn, wipe it again for 8 or 9. So I just need to also make sure I gain a little bit of life here with the Campfires and whatnot. Cyclorian for an island. Casting something. Could be a Gurmag. Maybe not. How does Ploy again? Yeah. Ploy again, sure. Gets back the Snacker. I actually don't have Spellbomb on board because we used it already. All right, Snacker comes back. I mean, I can wipe the Snacker with the Pestilence, so it's not really that big of a deal. All right. Eviscerator's Insight, draw 3, activate Campfire, Cauldron Familiar, there we go. Oh, we also just drew another Cast Down, so I could cast down both of these, then attack for 1. If they don't have the Snuff Out, we get the Monarch, and then I can Pestilence for 1 to wipe the Snacker. They're at 20 because they gained a bunch of life off the Daha's Ploy because they discarded so much. Okay, so yeah, I don't think the Pestilence wipe everything is the immediate game plan. I think we're just going to cast these down. I just can't imagine they kept Snuff Out in their deck when the main creature we have is Cauldron Familiar. Obviously, it'd be nice here for the plant, but if they got it, good for them. Nice, we take the Monarch. Pestilence everything for 1 to kill the Snacker, play a Swamp, play another Campfire. I don't even need to play the Cauldron Familiar. I guess if they kill this, they kill the Pestilence at this point, and I'd rather that doesn't happen. So yeah, let's play this and then pass. Because now we're in an incredible spot, but if they do actually kill both of these, the Pestilence does go away. So, you know, Pestilence being gone is a little worse, I would say. Pretty sure they still have this Brainstorm, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Perfect timing. Snacker comes back. Oh, they also have the Spell Bomb. Oh, they have the double Spell Bomb for the Familiar. So yeah, they could get rid of the Pestilence here, but I just don't see how they're getting the Monarch back ever, which is another thing. And I have 2 Campfires, so I really can't mill out even with the Monarch. I guess I could have Fairy Macabre away this Snacker. I probably should have done that because that's kind of what they're here for. And I don't want to have to kill the Snacker with the Pestilence now that we have a Cauldron Familiar, but that's okay. Well, let's swing for 2. Play a Wellspring. Play a Nutrient Block. That helps against the Spell Bombs. Oh, they might counter it for that reason. Sure. And we'll pass. Cast down the plant. We're already in the end step, so they're not killing the Pestilence here, even if they want to. Another Familiar. I mean, they could still kill it by their end step, but actually the fact that the Vector Glider happens here is pretty funny, because now I can Pestilence for 1, and we still are keeping this around because of the Vector Glider, which is really cool. Lorien, sure. Snacker comes back. I can just Pestilence it again for 1, which I want to do anyway. Not for 2, because then the Vector Glider goes away. Although I could do it 5 more. They're at 8, and then I have 8 mana, but if they have a Daha's Ploy, it throws it off, so I don't think that makes sense. Let's just Eviscerator's Insight, this Wellspring, draw a Bajillion, and counterspells Totally fine. I'm not even drawing for anything specific. I just have mana to use and might as well use it. Dark Moss Bridge. So I think we're just playing one of the gardens. I think I want to hold the familiar until these spell bombs are gone. I could just cast a macabre though. I probably want to pestilence the board and then play this. Yeah, because if they then kill, like, again, the pestilence is really annoying because if I go to my end step and then you try to kill it, it doesn't matter at that point. But if you try to kill it, if you want to do it before then you have to do it in my second main phase, which means I get another opportunity to cast something to keep it alive. So like if they try to kill this plant here, then I could just cast a familiar. All right, I'm going to discard a couple Dark Moss Bridges. And now I just need to make it to their end step with the pestilence around, which if they just had a kill spell for the plant, they could stop. Okay, Bojuka Bog is going to try to get this familiar. We're going to try to bring it back, force them to use a spell bomb, and we only had the one food, so that's pretty much just it. But that's okay. Still got them to use up a spell bomb. And then yeah, if they, I mean, they brought this back, so now they have to kill both of these before the end step. Otherwise, I just get to Pestilence Bomb for 5 at the end step, and then do it again on our my main phase. I might as well use the campfire as well. The green mana. Pestilence, they're down to 5. Oh, look, we have the other one. And then I'll just activate it 5 more times. All right. And we get a nice 4-1 with the deck, losing just to Mono Red Madness, which we also beat. So I don't think it's an impossible matchup by any means. Obviously, it was just we drew kind of poorly in that second game, and they are probably going to have a favored match. They're going to have a favored game 1, and then we drew really poorly. So 4-1, obviously still pretty nice. Pestilence as a whole, it's definitely a slow deck. You know, you're playing a very hard control deck with not a lot of win cons, but it's pretty fun. You get to draw a lot of cards. You get to gain a lot of life. And honestly, I think this indoctrination might actually be real in some way. Like, it just destroyed terror, which is a really good metric because terror is everywhere. Not only could you just earthbend and they just didn't have an answer, especially game 1, to you having an indestructible creature. Obviously, once we got a couple, we can also start pairing them up even if they go wide, so that we can actually kill some of their terrors. But also, they play not the most creatures, but they play a fair number of creatures that are pretty important to get. So if you want to snipe their hand, and as we saw, it can be used as essentially a peek, a Gigtaxian probe, to see their hand, if not take something relevant from it, just to see if the coast is clear to land a Pestilence, both of which are very, very strong. And then obviously the indestructible land being able to be a creature that survives through Pestilence is just incredible too. Shout out once again to Lutri Enjoyer, who commented this on one of my videos. It was not my idea. So Food Pest has been growing. I think it's a pretty good deck now that we have Nutrient Block. We really just needed another good food to sacrifice to the familiars, especially in colorless, because Heaped Harvest is fine. Not bad, honestly, but it's, green is your splash, and we really needed a cheap 1-drop that drew your card when you sacrificed it. And this indoctrination, I really think can be something good. So don't be surprised if I play this deck maybe a little bit more on the channel, because it's pretty fun and pretty unique. But in any case, thank you to my monthly supporters. If you'd like to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check my Metafy down below. It's the best way to help me continue making videos every single day. And so I want to thank my $10 and up supporters: Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JDNPX, Tommaso Magnani, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, Ill Intent, and Emmanuel Mayer. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.